Hi, my name's Dee, your Professor of Woo Woo, and welcome to this will be the first October general reading for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, whatever area of chart you're wanting to have a look at. As ever, it's a general reading, but there is a past and a present in the spread, so you can tell if this is for you or not. But what I do advise is ask a question beforehand. So pause the video if you need to, think about all the questions that are around you and focus on one of them. But the cards will answer what they want, so be aware of all of them, but mainly focus on one of them. That gives energy to the process. So as a general reading, timing is far from absolute. It's a general reading, it's tarot. You've heard other readers say it before, there's roles can get reversed. Doesn't happen a lot, but can do. I try to point out when I think it could be either you or I say you or them, but I don't tend to do love readings. So whether it's you or another person. But what I see is energies and directions and movements and vectors and sensations. So yeah, you could get folk mixed up, I suppose. Now, down in the description, there is a link to the Facebook page for this channel where there's an inbox. If you want to approach me for a personal reading, that's the way to do it. Plus, there's a link to get yourself a birth chart, free birth chart, as long as you know your place and time of birth as well. Then you can work out what your rising sign is. You can learn what your moon sign is. And if you only have time to watch one of these readings, watch your rising sign. The sun is nearly as important, but I think for this, it's your rising sign that carries the most welly. That's obviously my technical term. So I'm using today Spellcaster's Tarot and what's called Tarot of the Angels. There's a lot of those. Sorry, no, it's not Tarot of the Angels. It's Angel Tarot by Bloodstone Studios. They are created by Travis McHenry, who hopefully will be appearing on this channel soon for an interview and a discussion about how he made them. And you've seen my Demon Possessed Tarot before, same guy. And then finally, as a clarification, I like to throw in a little extra something. So, Heresy collectible card game. I'm a big believer that you can... When I taught my tarot course, I said, if you've got a symbolic alphabet, you can divine from cut-out pictures from OK and Hello magazine, if you so wish, as long as you understand the symbolisms in the photos that you have chosen. So let's put it to the test. This is the first time I've used the Heresy deck. So, right, I will bring up the cards. And I don't even know what the Heresy cards are underneath because these angel cards are a lot bigger. So we start, really interestingly, with the Justice card from both decks. So that's a little bit blurry. The light here is never right. So So we start with the Justice from the Spellcaster's Tarot, followed by the Justice card from the Angel Tarot with Kaliel, the Invocable God. Kaliel here is said to make truth known in court and causes innocence to prevail. Oh, now that struck a chord with me, that causing innocence to prevail, because what I'm feeling here, Justice card, I don't feel like it's legal action coming to you or anything like that. It's you're weighing up the options and there's something that it's time now. It's time you made a decision. It's time you committed to what you feel is the best option, I suppose. And with that causes innocence to prevail, it's almost like I feel that which of the choices can you go into with the most innocence. So is it the choice that you feel good about it, but you know the least about where it's going to head to? You know, think about that Fool card as he takes his first step off the cliff. And the other reason I say this, so we have from the Heresy deck, a deck of tarot cards, the Great Pack. So this, I have to check my symbols here. This is a symbol about tradition. And it's about revealing, literally it's about revealing all your cards. So there's a decision that you are needing to make. And so it's not just a case of, oh, I think I'll go this way. It's a case of, if I go this way, what do I believe? What do I know? If I go that way, what do I believe and what do I know? And more importantly, what don't I know? So standing against you is that you're quite happy where you are. Thank you very much. You know, we've got the Nine of Pentacles here. So, but with the Page of Cups, oh, now this is, I'm learning how to pronounce these properly. So Azazel, who represents God who rejoices. But again, this is an opposition card, Page of Cups. It's almost like there's a dream that you had been holding to that just does not seem relevant anymore. Now, I am not saying that it wasn't relevant. I think it was. I think it was probably. I think it was worth it, probably. But I do rather think that the terms of this dream have really changed. It's simply, I have the Intercept card from Heresy, which is literally, it says an angel steps in and creates a miracle. You can see why I chose these Heresy cards. So it has come obvious to you, even though you don't necessarily like it, that the dream that you had been following, the value that you had been concentrating on maintaining, its foundation is no longer as strong as it used to be. It's not you're doing it now out of habit rather than out of belief, or you're doing it in terms of shoulds. You know, this is how it should be like. This is what people have told me I should do. All those sort of, there's a lot of shoulds with that Page of Cups. But there is something that's become, I think, quite glaringly obvious, that there is something new open for you. Now, you've already had one new beginning, which you operated. So you had been cast into a whole new environment, new foundation, new materials, new resources. And I feel like, that maybe you could take that ball and run with it. Yeah, great. You looked fantastic, felt fantastic. But could it have been a little over the top? And I think this might be related to this dream that you had been upholding to. It's almost this sense of, well, yeah, I thought I knew what I was doing. And what I thought I was doing, I did really well. But there was more to it than that. And so it's that sense of things maybe going a little bit too far or a little bit too hard. A little bit too forceful, and that you suddenly got to a point, it's like you've overshot your target and you go, yeah, this isn't what I wanted it to be anymore. Like you've gone straight past your target. But as I said, there seems to have been something that, came in, and yeah, it threatened your sense of, yeah, I'm in the right direction. But I want to say that that was a good thing. That was whatever obstacle came into play, you suddenly felt, this isn't so bad. There's no, or you can feel that this isn't so bad if you look at it, because there's a reason that your direction is being just slightly shifted. Here at the bottom we have King of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, and a card Rabdos, who is an entity I am not familiar with. Host, Infernal Principality, Unite. I think it's just a character out of Heresy, but I could be wrong. I don't know every particular magical and mythological entity. It seems to me like there is a positive new option open to you. Very, very tempting, but at the same time, it feels like such a change in direction. It feels a bit sort of scorched earth policy. It's like, whoa, do I really want to take that step? And I think that's that innocent step. But Spirit is bringing in here Knight of Wands, Six of Wands, and Prudence. Now, there's a really interesting combination, because Knight of Wands forges straight ahead, Six of Wands is saying victory, but with the Prudence card, it's almost like, yes, go for the bit where you can succeed, but it's not so much go gently as in choose very, very carefully. Work out what it is that will give you this sense of foundation. Because, as I said, you feel to a certain extent, Six of Cups here, that things are pretty much okay as they are. Thank you very much. And I don't want my apple cart upsetting. But your apple cart has been upset, and there is recognition of this. There is almost a glaring message that that things are changing underneath your feet. Abdiel here, and there's a who I don't think is a real angel, but I'd have to look that one up. So there's a little quote on a lot of these character cards. The basin tunnels are his domain, and Ariok his sworn enemy. So there's this sense of activity within the foundations of, well, I suppose within the foundations of your feelings, So again, there's that echoed message of, right now, this is exactly what I wanted, but not entirely what I want. So there's that questioning. Now, from the Oracle decks, Dragon's Duel from the, what's it called? Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. And that, again, is a card talking about that duality within us all, faith and disbelief, or it listed a load of what was it? It listed a load of opposites where gone past the page. Duality of faith and doubt, love and fear, right and wrong, black and white. Yeah. So I think there may be a difference between what you have been told and probably believed and accepted and lived by, what you have been told is right, and what you feel is right for you. Because with this angelic obstacle, I almost feel like I feel as if you feel that you are being pushed off the path that you had set for yourself. And my reaction from these cards to that is good, because it's putting you on a better path. Spirit, you've got the encouragement card here. Spirit is definitely saying, try it. Try something different. Try this new way that you hadn't necessarily thought of before. Because Three of Pentacles, again, the way other people are influencing you. You've got Ten of Pentacles and Paimon, King Paimon, although he's not a king in this deck, but there's someone offering you to try something different, where you are supported, King of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, where you are supported, where you are recognized, and as someone else around you has said, yeah, it's time for a change for you. It's like they've said, I can see that you're itching for some form of change, so make the change. So the time we're passing into. So there's an element of strategy. There's an element of, no, this is interesting. So we've got Manakel with the Seven of Swords here, clarifying the Eight of Cups. Now, the Eight of Cups, again, so this list of shoulds, this list of how you've been told things were right, is potentially something that you are giving up on to try something new, but you're being quite strategic about it. You're taking your time, so that backs up this prudence. And we have here the atrophy card. It's the way this is phrased. Oh, it's hard to see in this light. Removing, it talks about how, within the game mechanics, how you do something with it and discard top cards off decks and blah 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 blah, and when you're finished you get rid of this. So there's this a real symbol of casting aside what is no longer necessary, casting aside what is no longer relevant, because there's a bigger world out there and there's a bigger direction. Two cards came out of the angel, out of the Mausolea Oracle. And I thought it was really interesting that Mausolea, you've got the afterlife set into different lands. The Duat, Hades, Sheol, and different hells and underworlds. But from the same underworld of Dis, we have mother and son, the great creator goddess Nyx and her son Thanatos. Now, I really like that. Nyx shrouds things in darkness, yes, but it is from Nyx that all things were born. And Thanatos may indeed be a spirit of death, but think about it as the death card. He's bringing in the new, or thrusting you into that new environment. So your hopes and fears are along the lines of, I could do this. Do I have the skill to do this? Do I have the ability to control my environment enough, which I don't think you have to do, by the way. But do I have the ability to control the environment enough to make this work, or am I going to get shot down? Card is called Orbital Strike Platform. You know, so something looking in from a distance to go, that's not right, boom. You know, and I don't think that these fears are warranted, because I feel that if you go into the choice that you are more innocent about. Now, I'm not necessarily saying naive about, although that might be the vibration that you're hitting, but more it's the point of you don't know where it will lead. One of these paths, the one that you was already on, seems like it was fine. It was proceeding nicely. Thank you very much. But as I said, what you have got may have been what you wanted, but it's not what you want. Not at the moment. And there's There's a Six of Pentacles and the Sun to start off with. So the Happy, Happy, Joy, Joy card. Especially with Mehiel, restoration of life, protection from adversaries, rabies, and wild beasts. So you're all right on your nature hike. But I love that Six of Pentacles leading this set of cards, because there is that sense of finding out what has value and being nice to yourself and others. Because this is one person feeding two. Six of Pentacles is very much about attributing value, or apportioning value might be a good way. But it can also be a card of gifts and of loans as well. There's another side of it. Now, I rather feel that this is a trinity of you on this card. You are the person doling out the cake, and you are the person eating the cake. And if you saw my if you saw my interview with Shu Yap from the weekend, then we know that cake is an issue. Because with this Venus retrograde, the message from the angels is pretty much, if you've done the work, you can have your cake. If you haven't done the work, you don't get any cake. Maybe this is tying into that whole idea of the Venus retrograde coming up at the end of the year. Because at the very end of it, we have a card simply titled Archon. Now, you'll recognise that term from my Gods at Play readings. But here, within the universe of, like, the Heresy card game, the Archons are not quite as nasty. They're more representing old knowledge and tradition. They are representing the intersection of that knowledge and the material world, and that they were initially guardians of a city, or as it says here, the one city, which sounds very romantic, but it's now they're the guardians of the 9 traditions. They're the guardians of rebirth. Now, in Gnostic philosophy, the Archon is the one thing trying to stop you from being reborn, in the light of the divine. So seeing the Archon, I really like that framing, seeing the Archon as the guardian of that rebirth, so that you only get some cake if you've done the work. You only get through to that rebirth if you really have done the work and can beat the guardian and can get past it, or it can be allowed past it. That's something I'm going to have to think of. That's a really, really nice image. So, yes, Aries, it is time for you to make a decision. And the decision, I would say, take the path that you are the most innocent about. Whether that means that it gives you that childlike sense of innocence, or if you feel, oh, hang on a minute, if I do that, aren't I being a bit naive? Aren't I being a bit hopeful that everything will sort out? Shouldn't I stick to this path that has been laid out for me? Well, you've been sticking to it and you got everything that you wanted, and it's still not what you want. So try this more naive path, or more unknown path. Prudently, strategically, carefully, slowly, but make that commitment to go, yeah, I'll go this way. Now, of course, this is just a guy on YouTube saying tarot to you, so you will know if this was about your question or not. But even if this is spot on for your question, think about it first. I would say that anyway, but as I say, I would draw your attention back to this Prudence card and this Seven of Swords with Manakel. Manakel here, the name of God that Manakel carries is God nurturing and maintaining everything. So there is this sense with the Seven of Swords here, and that atrophy is where you just discard those things that are no longer of any use. There is this sense of carefully, slowly, strategically, think about it. And it may be that you're thinking in duality, by opposition. I know where the path that I was on is going to lead. Is that what I want? And if the answer's no, choose the other path where you may be more naive about it, you may be more innocent about it, but you've only got to go slowly down that path. So if this means anything to you, Aries, please do comment down below, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And then now go and watch your rising, go and watch your moon sign, assuming I've uploaded them already. Cheers.